I'm Brent Musburger, along with Jane and Irv and Pete Rose. And at the other end of the telephone right now is a man who's been grinding sausage all afternoon. Earl Weaver, the manager of the Baltimore Orioles. And Earl, what everybody wants to know is, who will you start in Game 1? The left-hander Flanagan or the right-hander Jim Palmer?
Well, I just talked to Bill Worrell and Jim Russo, who have been in the National League for, I guess, the past 15 to 30 days. I don't know how long. But they recommended left-handed pitching, and we're going with Mike Flanagan in the first, Jim Palmer in the second, and Scotty McGregor in the third. We're also looking up our statistics throughout the year as to how Flanagan has fared with 3 days rest. I don't know if I'm going with 3 starters in the World Series or 4, but if it need be a fourth, it'll be Dennis Martinez. If I think Flanagan can pitch 3 games in the series, and it'll just be Flanagan, Palmer, and McGregor.
Earl, are you all surprised with Chuck Tanner deciding to start Bruce Keeson?
Well, no, I guess he feels that we're primarily right-handed power, but
right.
As we talked about earlier, with those 2 switch hitters in the center of the lineup, Singleton and Murray, we're pretty well set for whether it be right-handed or left-handed.
How about no DH in the World Series? Is that going to hurt you at all, you think?
I think so, Pete. Our ball club was set up with the Pat Kellys, the John Lowensteins, the Lee Mays, the guys that give you that extra offense, and it's taking something away from us, but that's the way the rules are set up, and we'll just have to abide by them and do the best we can.
All right, Earl, both Jimmy the Greek and Pete Rose pick you in a tough 7-game series. We want some of that sausage when Mrs. Weaver gets done, okay?
Well, I tell you, I hope it don't go 7, because last time it did, Pittsburgh got it.
All right, good luck, Earl. Right. And also Chuck Tanner, the other manager. He's a heck of a guy, too, Peter. Let's take everybody around the NFL right now and update all the scores. Chicago runs its record to 3-3. Walter Payton rushes for 155 and scores the game's only touchdown. New England just holds off Detroit 24-17. Scott Hunter has to finish up at quarterback for Detroit as Jeff Comlow is injured. Atlanta 25, Green Bay 7. The Falcons now are 3-3. Keeping an eye on Los Angeles this afternoon. And the Philadelphia Eagles run their record to 5-1. Wilbert Montgomery had 4 touchdowns, rushed 22 times for 127 yards. The big upset, there are no more unbeaten. The Giants, 17. The previously unbeaten Buccaneers, 14. Big day for Billy Taylor, 34 for 144 yards. Kansas City downs winless Cincinnati 10-7. The Chiefs are the surprise team also. They are now 4-2. And a final just in, is the NFC back? The Steelers lose to the Eagles. The Packers pick off the Patriots. Now the Cardinals down the Houston under glass. 24-17 final there. These are now partials at the half. The Rams are on top of New Orleans, 28-7. Hayden has thrown 2 touchdown passes in that game. Wendell Tyler has rushed for a couple. And, of course, the game you're watching, Dallas in command, 23-10. That is at the half. And the Pittsburgh Steelers jumped all over the Cleveland Browns, 30-14, so the Steelers could be alone in first place at the AFC Central if they hold on. The Jets are losing to Baltimore, 10-3. That game is at the half. A couple other partials are in. San Diego and Denver, they are scoreless. They are now in the 3rd period. And O.J. Simpson has scored for the 49ers, but they've given up 2 to Seattle, and they trail it by a score of 14-7. I don't think I've seen a running back all year long who so dominated a game as Billy Taylor did today for the Giants. I know that Walter Payton had a marvelous afternoon for Chicago, but Taylor was something else. He got the Giants in it right here. 27 yards. Up the middle for Billy, and that seemed to spark the Giants. It rained very hard in this game in the second half. Here's Taylor now busting down to the 3-yard line. And then as they turned around to start the second, it was Taylor for his first touchdown. He's a second-year man out of Texas Tech. And here he is again, banging down inside that 5-yard line. That came after an interception of a Doug Williams pass. Then it was Taylor up over the top. Buccaneers rallied late in the second. Marvelous catch. Mucker, watch his concentration in the end zone. Stayed right with it for John McKay. Made it 14-7. Now here's Williams again. Going for Isaac Higgins. And that got it down to the 10-yard line. And very next play, Doug Williams came right back, hit Jimmy Giles, but now had the winning field goal, 17-14. I'll tell you, Irv, even though he lost, you got to like the way Doug Williams kept bringing the Buccaneers back.
Well, you have to learn under pressure. He's a young quarterback, and a game like that can really help him out a great deal. Of course, we had a big one down in Washington. The Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles going after each other. The Eagles won the ball game by a score of 28-17, and one of the things they wanted to do is keep the ball away from the Redskin defense, who did a great job of taking the ball away from opponents. They did it by controlling it with a tight end, Keith Prepley. He makes a key catch there. Another way they keep the ball away is, again, throw short to intermediate passes to your running backs coming out of the backfield. Robert Montgomery takes that one in for a score, and the Eagles have a 14-0 lead. Joe Theismann gets the Redskins on the board with a pass to Riggins here just before halftime, 14-7 Philadelphia. Ron Jaworski going to Harold Carmichael, who has now caught passes in 102 consecutive games. Eagles still leading 14-7. Wilbert Montgomery, who scored 4 times, 3 rushing, 1 as a pass receiver, goes over here again, 21-7 Philadelphia. Again, you have a good thing going. Keep it going. Montgomery goes over again for his 4th score of the game. Mark Mosley kicks a field goal here to be the all-time scoring leader for the Washington Redskins. The Redskins go over here with John Riggins, too little, too late. Philadelphia Eagles wind up winning at 28-17.
We're going to take a look at the Chicago highlights. They're going to roll them downstairs. Jane, how has Pete Rose done today as a handicapper instead of Jimmy the Greek?
Pete's done pretty good. As a matter of fact, we talked about it before the game started. And what's your percentage now? You've got 4 for 6, I know, a little bit earlier.
4 for 6 ain't all bad.
I'll take it. That's 8 for 12.
It wasn't that easy, boy. The numbers man, Pete Rose. We got time now to show you Chicago. Indeed, let's go to it. Chicago and Buffalo. It was a defensive struggle. Do you believe that the Bears shut out this offense today? Well, it did rain up there, and it was tough. There's the big turnover. Muckensturm on the ball. Now, Walter Payton, here's the game's only touchdown. And taking a look at the schedule next week, Irv, I see that Chicago is home to New England, and meanwhile, Buffalo goes down to Miami. That'll be a big one. Let's send you back to the stadium as we get ready now for Los Angeles, New Orleans halftime. If there's time, we'll see you after the game.
Matt Summerall with Tom Brookshire at Metropolitan Stadium in Brooklyn, in Bloomington, Minnesota, where Dallas leads 23-10. They're retiring Fran Tarkenton's number. Let's listen.
That's the most worried I've ever seen him.
That's Max Winter, who is the chief of this franchise, who's walking out there with him. There's Francis. Bob Lurch.
Ladies and gentlemen,
with him.
the president of the Minnesota
Freddie
Vikings,
Alderman,
Max
Ed
Winter.
Schrockman, Jerry Reichauer, Ursel McBee, and Bill Brown. Thanking players. Here's Max Winter.
Field 18 years ago, a 3rd-round draft choice out of Georgia came to the Vikings, electrified the entire football world by beating, in the first game the Vikings ever played, Chicago 37-13. Francis Asbury Tarkenton, a man who set most every record in passing in the National Football League so far. At the time he retired, at the top of his game, we know about his scrambling. He probably made as many yards as any quarterback will ever make. He quit while he was on top. And since then, he has devoted his time to charity and has been very successful in his business. All youth all over the country are wearing on their sweaters number 10. I'm sorry to say, and I'm glad to say, that never again on this field by any Viking will number 10 be on any player's back. this, I wish to present to Francis Asbury Tarkenton, number 10, to cherish and live with this for the rest of his days.
Chuck, baby.
Thank you very much, Max. Words don't come easy at a time like this. 18 years ago when I started here, I didn't have a great deal of high goals. I just wanted to be a member of this team and contribute to it for a period of time. At that time, I thought I'd probably play forever. I didn't think anybody ever got old, but I did. And it's done with and over with as of last year. I'm indebted to the people running on this field right now. I'm indebted to the people that stand behind me wearing the purple, because they really were the most responsible for any little success I might have had. I'm indebted to you people who sit in those stands and were back here in 1961, 2, 3, 4, and struggled with us as we tried to build some type of foundation to a football team here, and back then it wasn't easy. And you stayed with us and hung with us, and finally better days came around. I'd like to thank my mother, who's sitting up there, my wife Elaine, who stood by me in times that were tough, my 3 children, Melissa, Matthew, and Angela. They've had to make the biggest sacrifices of all. And thank you all for making this a very special day for me. I'm deeply touched. And Vikings, get it going this second half.
And so number 10 is retired, the most prolific, the most durable quarterback in NFL history.